Coming up on AEA Amplified, Dave Salvador, Aftermarket Channel Vice President for Gogo Business Aviation, discusses the future of connectivity.
From the Aircraft Electronics Association, this is AEA Amplified, a podcast for aviation's technology experts, with your host, Jeff Hill.
Happy New Year, friends, and welcome back to another episode of AEA Amplified, sponsored by Avionics News, the AEA's monthly magazine. It's available in print, online, and mobile apps for iOS and Android devices. You can check it out at avionicsnews.net. Hi, everyone. I'm your host, Jeff Hill, for this January 4th, 2024 edition of AEA Amplified. And today we're excited to have the first podcast of the year with Dave Salvador. He is the Aftermarket Channel Vice President for Gogo Business Aviation. And of course, Dave has a lot of important updates that AA members and Gogo dealers are going to want to hear. So first of all, Dave, Happy New Year, and how are you doing?
Hey, Jeff, I'm doing great. Thank you very much. Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to 2024. Exciting year for our industry, for Gogo, our business, and our partners. Thanks for the opportunity to chat today.
And Dave, I know you've been at Gogo for quite some time now, and so I'm sure that you have personally seen significant changes occur during your time with the company. Technology, of course, has evolved a lot during that time. So, can you just tell us a little bit, start us off for our audience about your history with the company and some of the changes that you've seen with the exponential growth in the use of in-flight connectivity?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been very honored to work for this organization for it'll be 14 years in February next month, and it's been quite a ride. Had the opportunity over the 14 years to have a few different roles with Gogo, which originally, when I joined the company nearly 14 years ago, was AirCell, and started out as regional sales manager. Had the opportunity to move into management and have been working with the aftermarket partners with equipping our connectivity solutions on literally thousands of aircraft. Our company originally began in 1991 as it was an idea on a napkin that was essentially to put airborne telephones on every general aviation aircraft. And we actually went into operation in 1997 with the air-to-ground network for airborne telephony, an analog cellular network, essentially pointing a cellular network up at the sky. And then we, as a company, continued to evolve our products, went global in 2006 by introducing an Iridium system to the marketplace, and then continued to grow and equipped airplanes with telephones, and decided to move into the connectivity world. And in 2008, we actually introduced our air-to-ground system with the ATG 4000, as well as an Inmarsat global solution. And as a company, we grew to have an airline division, which we launched in 2009. And in 2010, as I mentioned, when I joined the company 14 years ago, we launched a standalone air-to-ground connectivity system for business aviation. Continue to grow the product line with in-flight entertainment with Gogo Vision, and then AirCell rebranded essentially in 2011 to Gogo and went public 2013. Continue to evolve our product line, and then our most current product line that we offer, the Advanced Platform, that was introduced into the marketplace in 2017. So it's really been a tremendous 14 years I've had with the company. Worked with just a myriad of partners, from the OEM to the MROs to the avionics dealers, to connect our customers from the ground below, or from the air to the ground below. And today we have over 7,000 aircraft that are equipped with air-to-ground systems, and nearly and over 4,000 narrowband satellite systems. So it's been an incredible run, to say the least.
That's an amazing story for a company that, as you said, started on the back of a napkin. What an incredible story. And David, it's my understanding also that that as part of that company, Gogo has a very active dealer advisory council. Can you tell us just a little bit about that group, how you work with them for guidance on things like product development, customer support, dealer support, things like that?
Yep, absolutely. Our Dealer Advisory Council is a great cross section of our OEM, MRO, and dealer partners. We actually are going into our 2024 Dealer Advisory Council next week. And that group has been the guiding force in our growth as a business, in our product development. And the nice thing about that Dealer Advisory Council is that they give us the feedback that we need, whether it's good or bad. And we take that feedback, and it's one of the most important events we do during the year, having the opportunity to sit down with the leaders of the MROs and OEMs and dealers that install our products and represent Gogo products, and really get their input on the products that we're currently offering, as well as what they would like to see in the future. They also give us the good, bad, and ugly as it relates to support. And as an organization that is solely dedicated to aviation with our product offerings, we have no other vertical markets. In fact, during the height of COVID, we made the decision as an organization to sell off our commercial aviation line. So our focus solely is on general business aviation vertical. And with that feedback from our Dealer Advisory Council, not only do they give us that guidance on product development, but they also tell us, how to be better support, how to provide better support for them as our partners, as well as the customers that they collectively serve.
And Dave, I know last year, 2023, was certainly a big year for Gogo from the standpoint that you have informed your customers and dealers about plans to migrate your air-to-ground network to LTE, which is a newer technology. I was personally fortunate enough to attend a luncheon that Gogo had hosted back in October at the NBAA convention in Las Vegas, where some of your executives talked quite a bit in depth about this change and what it's going to be required of your customers. Can you please just walk us through about why Gogo is doing this, and what does it mean exactly for customers, and what do they need to do?
Yes, absolutely. So as an organization, of course, we look at our roadmap and our technology that we currently are offering in the marketplace, and then look to where we're going to make investments for the future. And those investments really are tied to the demand that our customers have in using connectivity, using the entertainment solutions, and ensuring that we can meet that demand in the future. If you think to our own homes or our offices, the technology that was installed to use the internet in our homes and offices 10 years ago is not the same as we have today. So it's important that we as an organization continue to invest and bring out new products, new solutions, and upgrade the technology. So I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit on our 5G side and in bringing 5G to market. We have spent the last couple of years building out a new network, a 5G network, and with the completion of that, in anticipation of the hardware being available to install an aircraft, we started to look at what's next. And what's next for us was looking at our legacy air-to-ground network, which is a licensed air-to-ground network that the original ATG 4000s, ATG 5000s, 2000s, the ATG Classic, as we like to call it. That's the network that has been operating, as well as Avance has been operating the L5s and L3s on that licensed network. And that network is probably the strongest network from a connectivity standpoint, whether you compare it to satellite or air to ground, addressing the needs of today's operators of aircraft that have the connectivity solutions. But we needed to plan for the future. So we are updating the cellular technology in that network from EVDO, which is the type of cellular technology that's in there today, to the latest LTE technology. And with that, we have to replace essentially every single tower's technology. And with that, that will require customers who have the classic air-to-ground systems will need to upgrade that hardware in the aircraft to speak to the LTE network that will be turned on once we shut down the EVDO network in early 2026.
So, Dave, what are you doing with dealers to help make the transition smoother for your customers?
Well, first and foremost is education. So no different than our dialogue today and making sure people understand the reasons for the changes and the demand for data. And in the 14 years that I've been here, looking at when I started with the company, the mobile revolution had not even really started, where people were connecting on their smartphones, their tablets, et cetera. The connectivity when I started with the company was really based on laptop connectivity and someone getting on an aircraft and either connecting to the wireless access point in the aircraft with their laptop or plugging into an Ethernet jack that might be installed in an aircraft in order to do what they want to do on the internet. As we've evolved into this mobile revolution with customers having smartphones, with iPads, tablets, et cetera, the demand for data is, extremely high, and it's really year over year continues to grow, and we know that will continue to grow. So that education for our dealers to be able to sit down with a customer that may have a legacy classic air-to-ground system, which there are over 3,000 aircraft that will need to be updated with this. That education for them to be able to explain, well, why is Gogo doing this? Why are they requiring me to install the advanced platform, the newest technology to be able to work on the new LTE network? So education is first and foremost. Second, we have been working very hard to make sure that we could have our partners in the aftermarket, because that's where this work is all being done. New production aircraft are being equipped with the latest advanced systems, which will work on the new LTE network. But for the aftermarket, we need to make sure that our dealers were pushing with our customers, our mutual customers, when they're in for a maintenance event, when they're coming in for some other type of maintenance, to make sure that they take advantage of that downtime to do the upgrades to the latest and greatest advanced products in order to be able to work on that network. So building that sense of urgency with the dealers, looking at working with them to get creative on dedicated capacity within their shops and dedicated resources to make sure that we can get as many of these systems upgraded before the network changeover in early 2026.
So, Dave, how has that transition been going so far, and what do you anticipate for the rest of this year and on into 2025?
The transition has been going well. Not as many aircraft, of course, as we would like to from the time that we introduced the network transition in January a year ago. We understand that people have to plan with budgets, downtime, and in 2023 we saw every month the upgrades starting to multiply and to get larger. And as we worked throughout the year, building this sense of urgency, building the education with the channel, we saw those continue to grow. And that is what we anticipate moving into this year and into 2025. It will also continue to grow. But it's super important that our partners, the dealers, the MROs, the OEM service centers, that they don't miss that opportunity to get someone upgraded when that aircraft is in their facility. And also to, we've worked with our demand generation team directly with the customers to ensure that they are planning for this and budgeting for it. Because if you compare it to, while this is not a mandate, it's certainly a mandate if you want to maintain connectivity with Gogo and your aircraft come early 2026. So if you compare it to the ADS-B mandate and the laggards that waited till the last year to get it all done, there is a finite amount of capacity, floor space, and labor in our industry to do this work. So the sooner the better is really the key for our customers that need to do this upgrade, as well as getting our aftermarket partners to ensure that they are encouraging customers to get it done this year versus waiting till the last year of 2025.
Once again, we're visiting with Dave Salvador of Gogo Business Aviation here on AEA Amplified, sponsored by Avionics News Magazine. And Dave, as I mentioned at the NBAA convention last fall, you had a couple of your customers speak at an event about what improvements they've seen after moving from an ATG 4000 or 5000 to either the Avance L3 or L5. And I know they spoke very highly about their experience, how much better it's been since adding Avance. What are you hearing from customers and your dealers?
First, the customer feedback is in line, of course, with what you just mentioned. It is a much better experience moving from a classic air-to-ground system to the advanced platform, and that whether that be L3 or L5. And when I say platform, what I mean by that is Avance is a software-centric group of technology that is very foundational in looking at when you put air to ground a classic system back years ago, a 4000 or 5000, you're essentially putting a connectivity pipe on the aircraft. So you put an LRU, a line replaceable unit, you put the router in the airplane, and that provided the connectivity pipe for the aircraft. Avance is much more robust and evolved in that it provides that connectivity pipe, but it also provides other aspects of and return on investment. By going to an advanced system, you're putting a latest generation router technology. And we talked earlier about what do you have in your home and in your office for connectivity hardware. No one has an old router in their house or in their office, because with the amount of data that has to go through it, it becomes somewhat of a it bogs down if it's not a latest router. So with Avance, you have the latest router technology. You also have, being software centric, the ability to make configurations remotely to that LRU, whether that be upgrading the amount of devices you want on the aircraft connected to the internet, whether you want to leverage the built-in media server and stream movies and television shows in addition to having the connectivity. And most recently, we announced over-the-air software upgrades, the ability to upgrade the operating system of the advanced platform remotely. And if you start thinking about fleet operators as an example, with their aircraft scattered across the country, whenever they need to do an upgrade to the operating system of that, they actually have to someone physically go out and touch the aircraft to download that. With Advance, that can be done remotely and can be done over the air. So again, long way around saying that evolution of technology is necessary. Customers that have had our classic connectivity system, as the demand on that has increased, we're making the investments on our network side. We're making the investments in moving to a software-centric platform, and customers will need to do that in the aircraft by upgrading to get that better experience, more robust features and functionality in that investment to move from classic to advanced.
So let's talk just a little bit more about Avance if we could. I know it's your flagship product for Gogo over the last several years. What was the vision, I guess, for Avance, and what's, I guess, more importantly, your take on how the Advanced platform has been received in the market?
Yeah, we're very proud of the reception of Avance. The first hardware version of Avance was the L5 that was introduced in mid 2017, started being installed in aircraft in Q3 of that year. And we have seen the adoption of Avance even faster than classic air to ground. As of today, there's over 2,500 L5s that have been installed by our partners, whether it be the OEM, the MRO, or the dealers. Many, of course, AEA members we've partnered with and have had long-standing partnerships with. So over 2,500 L5s, and we're actually nearing 1,500 L3s in the marketplace. So there are more advanced systems in service today than our classic air-to-ground systems, and that's just a testament to our industry needing to have connectivity, almost a non-negotiable in operating an aircraft, whether that be a large heavy type aircraft or even down to a light jet in an owner operator. Connectivity is how we live our lives today, and we have seen the adoption of connectivity accelerate with the introduction and having the advanced products in the marketplace.
And so, Dave, Advance then, of course, is the necessary upgrade, as you mentioned, for customers to leverage the new LTE network when it launches in 2026. Um, but what does it mean for customers who are wanting what's coming next from Gogo in 2024, and maybe including Gogo 5G and Gogo Galileo?
Yeah, it's a great question, Jeff. Advance is the foundation for our current products, the L5 and the L3, as well as the foundation for 5G and even the foundation for Galileo. So, as an example, we designed for 5G, we have two different hardware versions that will be available, whether that be an add-on LRU, which is called our X3, to an existing Advance L5 system, or most recently last year, we introduced a pin for pin compatible LRU for L5. And as I mentioned, with over 25, we're nearing 2,500 L5s in the marketplace. If there's an option to go from that to 5G with the foundation of Advance, the infrastructure, the Wi-Fi infrastructure that's installed in the aircraft with an L5, now the opportunity to move to 5G is swapping out the LRU and then changing the antennas with our latest introduction, the LX5, and those the LX5 and X3 will be coming in Q3 of this year, able to be installed. And though the 5G system is a North American dedicated connectivity system, with then our introduction of Galileo, our global broadband system, that is designed to be a more global solution. And we're going to have different hardware versions of that to address everything from a King Air up into a VVIP type configuration like a Boeing business jet.
Dave, I know you've had a couple of hiccups with the development of the 5G chip, which Gogo's been very public about. What can you tell us about the status of Gogo 5G as we head into 2024?
Yeah, 5G is like all new product introductions in the marketplace, and anyone listening that has installed new products and brought new products to their customers, we'd love them all to be on time and to have no problems. But unfortunately, with 5G, one component has been a bit of a challenge, and that's the 5G chip itself. It's a very specialized part that only a few suppliers in the world today manufacture. And in July of this past year, we announced that we had essentially a design error within the chip that our supplier advised us of, and it's not necessarily the 5G component of the chip, but a separate piece of that chip. So that has been identified, what was the problem. Because it's a very complex piece of electronics to build, it has taken time to go through the rebuild of that. But as of today, we are on track with bringing the final completion of our first article STC to get PMA, or Parts Manufacturing Authority, in Q3 of this year. And then we will, of course, move into bringing 5G. We've, as a company, have had very aggressive promotions that we had last year and this year in order to get customers provision for 5G, as well as get customers upgraded from classic air to ground into Advance. And those promotions will continue to be there as tools for our partners to help close, whether it be 5G provisions or upgrading from classic air to ground.
Let me ask you a little bit more about Gogo Galileo, and it's maybe perhaps your biggest new product line coming in 2024. Of course, it offers global broadband satellite service that's going to be available for aircraft of all sizes, from a King Air to a Pilatus on up. Where do things stand right now with Gogo Galileo, and from your perspective, what will that mean for the industry?
Yeah, we're very excited about Gogo Galileo, as we are with 5G and the advanced product line. Galileo is one more product offering to provide an option for in-flight connectivity and entertainment. Again, foundationally, the advanced platform is how Galileo will come to market. Any of our advanced LRUs, whether that be L5, L3, or LX5, and even our standalone advanced box called the Smart Cabin System, SCS. They will be the foundation of Galileo, and then Galileo is a self-contained antenna with the hardware in order to interface with that advanced box, and that will provide global connectivity. It will provide the ability for an operator to, in any size operator, really, and you mentioned that from a King Air to a Pilatus and on up, to have a global solution. And in our industry, we have had very good global solutions that have really been focused on the super mid-size business aircraft and up, but we're extremely excited that we will have multiple hardware offerings of the Galileo global broadband system that, as I mentioned, can go on just about anything from a turboprop up into a VVIP type aircraft like a Boeing business jet. And the speeds, the data throughput is an extremely compelling offering. Will be very priced very aggressively with very competitive service pricing, and now opens up in-flight connectivity to a lot more aircraft than there ever has been available before.
And Dave, I know you'll once again be giving the introduction to the new product session at the AEA convention that'll be in Dallas on March the 19th. And I know, if I recall correctly, a couple of years ago, you did a live stream from the show as your team was literally installing a 5G antenna at a site in Louisiana. Certainly a first for our convention. I remember being having a huge crowd around your booth and watching that. Very exciting stuff. What can we expect from Gogo at this year's AEA convention?
Yeah, we've been working on the concept behind that, and of course with the opportunity to get in front of our association colleagues and friends, we'll provide some updates on 5G and Galileo, as well as we want to talk about the promise of the advanced platform. This is something that we've touched on before, but I've mentioned a few things in our dialogue today about over-the-air software updates, the integration of IFE, et cetera, and that's is going to be our focus. We're going to really talk about the promise of advance when we introduced it, the adoption rate, of course, the business opportunity that's presented for our partners, our dealer partners, our OEM partners, because inevitably, they have a myriad of solutions and technologies to represent as avionics dealers or MROs or OEMs. And we want to make sure that they continue to understand that it is very profitable to install our products. Gogo is here for the long haul. I've mentioned, we were conceived on a napkin in 1991, our business model, and here we are in 2024. We're here to stay. We've made the investments as an organization. We've made our products profitable to represent and install and sell for our partners, and we want to continue that theme this year at the convention.
Well, Dave, before we let you go, can't let you get away without asking you our lightning round of final four questions, sponsored by Avionics News. So here's how it works. We're just simply looking for the first thing that comes to your mind and why you feel that way for each of our final four questions. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. These are hard now. Number one, what's the biggest issue facing the general aviation industry today?
I believe it's workforce, labor. That's the key. We need more technicians coming into our business in order to continue to support all the aircraft that are being manufactured and the ones that are in service today.
All right, good. Number two, here's a toughie. Which cartoon character would make the best avionics professional and why?
I thought long and hard about this one, and one of the aspects of our industry is our industry is very much a team-centric industry when working on aircraft, right? So the only cartoon character that I could think of is Scooby-Doo and the people that are part of that cartoon: Fred, Daphne, Velma, Shaggy, and then of course Scooby. they all work together to solve each episode. And you think about our industry and the complexity of aircraft, that has to be, as far as the avionics side of it, that represents the teamwork that they do in Scooby Doo. It's a goofy answer, I know, but I couldn't think of another one. It's a tough question.
Tough question, but you got the right answer. I think we'll go with that. You can't go wrong with Scooby Doo. So, number 3, if you could have dinner with any historical figure, whom would you choose?
Another tough question. Steve Jobs, I think, would be the one that I would have loved to have the opportunity to have dinner with. The very much a technology enthusiast, and as he brought his products to market with his company, it was all about the why, right? It was about not necessarily what the product did, but the why behind it. And just a neat man. I've read a lot about him and studied some of his work.
All right, and number 4, what's the one piece of advice you'd give to someone starting out in aviation?
Yeah, that's an easy one for me to answer, because when I started out in aviation, I grew up next to an Air Force base as a kid, and I watched the C-5 Galaxy cargo aircraft flying in and out of the base, and really fell in love with aviation. But as a young person, as many young people are today, they're not sure exactly what they want to do. So if I was to give someone some advice in starting out in aviation, find a mentor. Find somebody that can really help you kind of guide you going into this field. There are tremendous opportunities in aviation, and once you have that mentor or mentors, could be multiple. Stick with them, leverage them. They've earned their stripes and had their lumps and bumps as they've probably gone throughout their career, and they can give you a lot of guidance in that.
That's definitely great advice. Dave, is there anything else you'd like to share with the avionics community that we haven't covered yet?
Just our gratitude as a company, that the reason we exist today is due to the partnerships that we forged for very much part of 25 years. And we are extremely grateful for those partnerships and the business that we've done together, and connecting all those aircraft for our mutual customers. So that really is what I'd like to close with, is that gratitude and that thanks.
Very good, Dave. Salvador, thank you so much for joining us here on AEA Amplified. And of course, you can learn more about Gogo Business Aviation on their website at gogoair.com. That's gogoair.com. And just a couple of reminders before I go for our listeners. We do have several upcoming avionics courses available over the next several months at AEA headquarters in Lee Summit, Missouri. We also have some virtual live courses available, but seating is limited for each of those classes. So check out the course schedule and enroll today to reserve your seat. You can do all of that at aea.net/training. And if you have not already registered for the AEA convention, please do so in advance by March the 1st, and that's going to save you $100 off the on-site rate. We do look forward to seeing the entire avionics community come together for 4 days of training, new products, networking in Dallas. That'll be March 19th through the 22nd. You can get your full attendee registration today at aea.net/convention. And that is going to wrap it up for today. We hope you can join us again soon for another episode of AEA Amplified, sponsored by Avionics News, the AEA's monthly magazine, available in print, online, and mobile apps for iOS and Android devices. Check it out at avionicsnews.net. Thanks again to Dave Salvador of Gogo Business Aviation for being our guest today. And until next time here on AEA Amplified, for our producer engineer, Aaron Ward, this is your host, Jeff Hill, wishing you a happy new year and blue skies ahead. So long, everybody.